Morning, everyone. Good morning, erudite professor. Um, if you can hear me, Augustine, good morning.
Yes, we can.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
You put full screen. Oh, good. Great.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. And it's a pleasure to be sharing the same stage with people I look up to. And I feel very honored to be here today. I'll jump in straight into my presentation, and the title of the presentation is From Text to Insight, Core DH Methods for Analysis and Interpretation. Well, let me just quickly give a disclaimer that what I'm about to present is not all there is about DH methods. I have just chosen one particular tool that Professor Rockwell has mentioned today to just give us an idea of what this entails. My presentation will not take too long for us to understand and truly make sense of what this is about. We'll need more time to discuss DH methods and analysis. So what I'm going to be doing is just an introduction, particularly for students and researchers who are new to DH, meaning digital humanities, and might want to learn some things that have been maybe hovering over their heads all through the presentation on Wednesday and today. All right, so I heard earlier there was a question about what is digital humanities. And Prof has also given us a very good definition. And I will just add to what he has said that digital humanities is the bridge between computational methods and humanistic inquiry. And the focus here for digital humanities practitioners really is the question of how do we move from raw text to meaningful cultural insights? You have a novel, you have an artifact, or you have a collection of information, and you're thinking, how do I make this meaningful? As the last presenter, Johanna, made mention of, you need a digital device, computers, AI now, so many things that are focused on making inquiry much easier for those of us who are in those of us who are in humanities. So in arts and in humanities, what is a text to us? This might be contestable, and I admit that it can be contestable, but just so that we can have a context for what we are discussing. A text is not just a merely written words. It's anything created by human beings that can be interpreted. So it could be in form of a historical artifact. It could be a cultural excuse me, it could be a cultural song, cultural movie, anything at all that conveys meaning that we in the humanities can investigate. We can say this was created by a human being. We can subject it to some sort of qualitative research, or we investigating. We can refer to that as a text. So in digital humanities, we try to see how we can use computational methods and analytical tools to give more insights into this particular concept or into whatever it is that we are trying to discuss. I understand that people who are in the hall are also computer scientists. So when you are talking to those in arts and the humanities, you can have an idea of what they mean when they come to you for assistance, maybe to create a software or to make something better for them to use. Prof earlier had also made mention of a tool that I think is very important for anyone who's interested in digital humanities. That's the Oxygen XML editor. I just felt I should highlight that so that when I start talking about it, you see how important it is when you are creating or you're preparing your textual data for analysis. Now, the first thing about making your data readable or converting your data into something that can be used in the digital space or for computational methods, is actually digitalizing your material, your data. How do you convert it from print or vocal, from vocal or verbal utterances? How do you put it into a state that it can be interpreted, that sense can be made out of it? First point here that I have is to convert it into a machine readable text format. And in doing that, I use Google Lens. If you've not heard about it, it's a very fantastic tool that you can use to convert um, print materials to um, readable OCR text files that you can make sense of, and you can also convert it into a TXT file that you can now upload into an app or a software that can make it readable by the machine. Because sometimes you have a book that is not in a digitalized format, so you try as much as possible to use as many applications as possible. For example, the Oxygen XML editor, Google Lens, and other things that can read these texts and convert them into something that you can make use of for your digitalization of your text. Now, the next thing is to clean it. Sometimes when you take in material, you need to make sure that material is readable. You remove all the noise, the things that you consider not relevant to the study that you are having. Sometimes these OCR apps sometimes can convert things and not convert it properly. So you need to take some time to go through it and make sure that you remove anything that is not appropriate for what you want to do. So we call it tokenization or lemmatization, and those are procedures that you have to go through to ensure that your digital material is useful and is relevant to what you want to do. Then, of course, the metadata enrichment. At this stage, you are now making it contextual. You're adding information, the author, the genre, the dates, timestamps. You're tagging to make sure that when you begin to analyze your text, you can see it can make sense from the computerization point of view. So it's a lot of work when you are preparing your textual data, but when you do that and you are done successfully, analysis becomes easier. So if you check, there's some materials, text files, machine readable text files that have been processed for you. So you can actually go ahead and use those ones. And some of them are open source. You can find them online. You can search for them. Maybe afterwards, when the lab is set up at the university or wherever you are, you can ask questions, and I'm sure we'll be able to give you answers to where you can get these already made files that you can use for your research. So sometimes there's no need to go through the process of working on something that has been done already. That's why Prof said something about open resource materials that you can actually use, and you don't need to pay anything because it's been done already. So the punchline for this particular point is that reliable data is the foundation of valid insights in DH analysis. If your data is not reliable, every other thing you're doing as far as analysis is concerned is a waste of time, and you wouldn't want to waste your time doing a research that will be rejected. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is text mining and distant reading. Prof has also spoken extensively about this, but I'll just highlight it so that this will help us to come to terms with the reality of what we are discussing. When you are analyzing large collection of texts, there are so many things that come to mind. You might want to uncover patterns that you might not see when you're doing a close reading of the text. For example, you're studying a novel and you have read the novel cover to cover. If they ask you how many words in total is the novel, you might not be able to say. But with the help of digital tools, you can tell the total number of words that you have. You can even count the frequency of specific words that appear numerous times in the particular text. You can even look at words that are used they are used together. We call that in language collocations. They are always in the same company. You can find that using these digital humanities tools. Topic modeling, where you can do some analysis that you can easily figure out the topic or topics that a particular text is concerned about. So you can see some thematization of some sort, and you can do all this with the aid of digital tools. Even sentiment analysis, where you'll be looking at the emotional tone of a text. How many positive words do you have? How many negative words are there? And neutral words. You can do all that with the help of a digital tool. And I will just introduce to you Voyant tools, because this is one tool that many beginners will find very resourceful, especially in digital humanities, because of its outlook, because of how it has been designed. And if you want to find out more tools and how you can use them, I have a link that is just here. You can just go to the Voyant tools page. Very easy. You see all these tools and you see their functions and how you can use them to interpret your data and give your data meaning, because that's exactly what we are doing in digital humanities research. Also, quickly, I would say something about network analysis. Usually when you are analyzing a text, sometimes you want to see the relationship between entities, characters, places, even ideology. With the help of some of these digital tools like links tools, Cyrus, network tools, you can see how ideas are connected. And for us as researchers, what we are more interested in are patterns. How do these patterns connect? What's the frequency of these patterns? And who are the people involved in this? So things that you might want to remember are concepts like nodes and edges. Nodes are the entities themselves, and the edges are the connections, the lines that connect these entities, as you see in the screen before you. Um, spatial and temporal analysis is also a very important feature in Voyant tools and in DH. Sometimes you want to see how you can connect space, meaning locations, and also time when you're exploring historical or cultural documents. You want to see how these things are connected. And there are digital tools that would help you make it even better. The visualization is clear. You can keep track of everything, and it's so neatly done. Almost impossible for one human being to sit and do at once. I mean, if you're going to do that, it take you ages to be able to figure it out. But with the help of digital tools, like the ones that we've been talking about, and we'll also be talking about, you can apply those things to your text, and you do a proper analysis that will make whatever it is you are discussing to come alive, because that's exactly what we do in humanities. We make texts come alive. We give insights to the texts. Our concern is, what does this mean? We have a raw text, but our analysis points towards making meaning out of what we have out of what we have read, what we have engaged with for a while. Another critical aspect, I think, would help us when we are looking at interpretation of texts, or converting raw texts into insights, will be the visualizations. And for me, this is a game changer since I started my research. The visualizations just makes explanation easier. And then it gives me an idea of where, I'm coming from, where I'm going to, and the possibilities that are in a particular investigation that I'm having. So we have things like the word cloud. The word cloud is popular for those of us who are teachers, which sometimes we generate word clouds just to give an idea of what is preponderant, what is foregrounded, like what you have on your screen. You see that this particular text, as analyzed, you see that some words stand out because of the size. It shows how many times such words have been mentioned or instances where those words have been used in the text under analysis. So this word cloud will actually help you to see the frequency of the words used, and the representation is beautiful if you use the Cyrus tool in Voyant tools. We also have something to show you trends and charts for us who are, I can say we're in the borderline now between core sciences and arts. Those of us who are interested in digital humanities, these graphs make a lot of sense, to us because we can see how things are connected. We can see how the X and Y lines are connected, and the variables, how they intersect, and what they mean to the analysis that we provide. And in Voyant tools, these things are so easy, and they help you to even make more meaning of the text that you are analyzing. So the chart and trends makes it easy for you to make sense of your data. Now, in Voyant tools also, you have an interactive dashboard. Prof had shared his screen earlier showing us how you can be interacting with multiple tools at the same time, on one screen, and you can even do close reading on the app itself. So when you see the instance of an idea or the instance of a word used, you can easily go to the main text itself and pick, the instances and how the text was used, collocations, and so many other things that you might want to, improve upon just by having this interactive dashboard that gives you multiple visualizations of the text you are analyzing or the interpretation you are giving to the text you are working on. So I'm gradually coming to the end of my presentation, and I would say that for all of us who are in humanities, our interest majorly is in critical reflection of what we do. And when we reflect on what we do, when we reflect on our material, there are some things that come to mind, especially those of us who philosophize a lot. You must know that even when you use digital humanities tools, there are some algorithms in it that carry assumptions and biases that shape your results. And this is where the humanities come in how we use digital humanities tools. We look at ideas, we look at data from ideological standpoints, from theoretical standpoints. So if we want to make sense of something, we try to stand, on a particular platform to create a perspective that makes sense. That's why everything about humanities is contextualized. So everything about what we do, even in our interpretation of data, is based on the context that is created. So even from when you are doing the textual data preparation, you contextualize everything so that when you are making meaning, you can give a lot of contextual background to what you're trying to say. And that will make even your analysis or the insights you provide to be richer and to even be deeper than you would have ordinarily imagined. Lastly, um, balance. You have to, in digital humanities or in quantitative analysis, there are some things that you will not find in your qualitative analysis that you would find in quantitative analysis. So there's a way that there is going to be some sort of intersection, a balance of your research work or your findings, if you can combine quantitative insights. Because if you know how many times a word is used, if you know how many times an idea is passed across, or an idea is foregrounded, it helps you to see the patterns. You see the people who are involved, and this will help you also in the exploration of your data. So, quantitative analysis reveals broad patterns, but we know that it might miss nuances that qualitative data would also bring out. So that balancing of the perspectives from a quantitative point of view and a qualitative point of view is what makes digital humanities robust and even more engaging. So to conclude, the key takeaways from this presentation really is that what we do in digital humanities is a combination of computational rigor with humanistic insights, so that we can have a deeper and a richer understanding of whatever material we're investigating or whatever text that we are working on. And in digital humanities, we actually ask better questions, not just to get faster answers, but the questions are well-informed questions because of the information available to us because of digitalization, and then the resources that we are able to produce as a result of our research makes our work even much more exciting. And anyone who understands what we're doing truly would want to be a part of this exciting uh, academic space that makes life even easier for everyone who is interested in deep research and in qualitative and quantitative research. So we've got academic references, texts that you can check to help you even make more sense of the things that I have discussed. They are foundational texts. You can find these on the internet, technical texts and contemporary texts that you can use to explore everything that I have said, even in much deeper understanding. So with this, I think I have come to the end of my presentation,
Thank
and
you.
I'll be expecting questions. Thank you.